Hi everybody, and thank you very much for watching. Liam Harcher here today with another episode of Presenting Champions for the Simply Inspired podcast. And today I'm truly honored and blessed to be joined by a very, very special guest. Today's guest, undefeated bare knuckle boxing fighter for BKFC, 145 world champion, undefeated. At a very, very young age as well. I think he's the youngest world champion with the promotion. Previously has a background in MMA, but is actually making waves in bare knuckle boxing, one of the toughest combat sports anywhere in the world. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you Kai Stewart, BKFC world champion. Thank you for joining, champ. It's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah, man, this is nice. We had to reschedule a few times, but heck yeah, we got it done, and now here we are from the beautiful state of Florida. Just there's like palm trees. I don't have those in Montana. You know what I mean? I love it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So you're loving life in Florida then? Yeah, you're enjoying your time since you've been down there?
Yeah, we've been down here less than 24 hours, and it's been a blast already.
Wow, that is amazing. And how does it feel to be walking around as world champion, being treated like royalty, showing off your belt, everything like that? Talk to us about your experiences with that side of things, please.
Instantly, it's already different. Like I was downstairs having a great time with my girlfriend, Christine Faria, like all those people that you know, I was always like too nervous to go talk. Like honestly, like I was like too nervous to talk to some of these people, and now I'm like partying with them. Like that is fucking cool. And then like getting ready to go here tonight, like I need to dress up. I'm gonna dress nice. The Hollywood Hard Rock is a beautiful place. So being able to be champ down here is definitely special because you get a lot of looks, you get a lot of smiles, you get a lot of fist bumps. Like it's just so cool.
Absolutely, yeah. Being treated like straight up royalty, like you were saying, well deserved, well deserved. Being treated like royalty. I love it. Let's talk a little bit about your future plans as well, because obviously you're already the youngest champion in the promotion, but the future is very, very bright for you, having already accomplished this, quite early on. So talk to us a little bit about your future plans. I don't mind how far ahead you want to go in time, but just what your dreams and goals are from here in terms of defenses, in terms of fighting in other weight divisions, anything you'd like to say about it, really.
Yeah, so I want to fight that win next. I don't care what I gotta do. If I gotta get face and fucking call an asshole tonight, I don't care what I gotta do. I just really want that fight. I think that's a very good fight for me. It's growth because I know he's way better than Louis Lopez. On paper, people are gonna say he's better than me, but that excites me. That's gonna. So I want that win sometime this year. After that, I want to clean the division out. There's not really I don't really care to go to a different weight class. Like that's not in my foreseeable future. If I get a couple defenses and I start making it look easy because I think I will, I'm going to I can cut either to 35, which would suck stuck, but I could, or 155. But then we're talking about pound for pound number one, and I'm not going to disrespect Luis Palomino right now. So there is a lot of options. Someday, way down the future, I would like to go back to MMA. Now, if I go on some crazy title run and I just don't lose, then I may never fight MMA again, just because I could fight a couple more times, and keep getting that bigger paycheck, and then I just reinvest my money, and then why fight for your money? Why? But for now, I can see myself in bare knuckle for a while, especially after the Alan Belcher thing. Alan Belcher getting stripped of his belt for doing other sports. And, I love bare knuckle. It really is fun. It's not necessarily my route. It's crazy that I say that because I'm world champ, best in the world. And I'm saying that it's not my route. But for now, just so I don't get stripped or nothing, I'm just all bare knuckle, and I'm hopefully all that win. Hopefully it's all that win. So I really, yeah, my future, like, that's what sucks. Think of it as gambling. You go in, you put in your 20, you win big on like your first or second push, And then what the fuck are you supposed to do? That's kind of my situation right now. Okay? I'm like, I just reached the pinnacle of this sport at 22 years old. Where do I go from here? But I'm just gonna stick with it and see how far I can go and see how many paychecks I can get from good old Dave Feldman, the kingpin of combat sports.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shout out to Dave Feldman. He's changed the face of combat sports everywhere around the world. Amazing individual. Now, I also want to touch on something here as well, even though we're talking about the future. When you first got into bare knuckle boxing, just looking at the past for a minute, did you expect everything to happen, this fast and just to reach the top of the mountain as fast as you have? Just talking about the expectations versus the reality, because obviously you came out of MMA into bare knuckle boxing in the beginning, what you expected versus what's happened. How do those two match up?
Yeah, I've always known that I'm a gamer in whatever I do, like whether it's a tough wrestling matches with the toughest kids in the country. I've always been able to, no matter what, keep the match close. And as long as it's close, you still have a fighting chance. Going into my first fight, I was doing it for a quick paycheck to buy a puppy. I don't have a puppy, but I do have a world title belt. So right after the fight, I got out and I told my coach, I said, oh boy, this was really fun. And I think I could be a world champion in this weight class, literally whenever I walked out of the ring. And he kind of chuckled, and because of my age, he doesn't really want me doing bare knuckle, or didn't. He's fucking proud of me now. Like we're all having a great time, but he was looking out for my best interest, the scarred tissue that comes with it. But he kind of laughed and said, you would be one to do that. And I was all like, no, I'm serious. Like, I think I'm going to really try. And that's kind of how I saw it. I definitely saw me winning a world title right after my fight. Going into the fight, I wanted a one and done quick paycheck and a cute little boxer puppy. Didn't get any of that. So life is fucking crazy, dude.
It is wild how these things work out, man. That is one of the coolest stories I've heard about, how these things come to happen. And another thing you mentioned there, though, do you think that obviously you're bringing a lot of new eyes to the sport? Because obviously the answer is yes, but there's a reason for that in terms of a lot of guys in BKFC, they've had these UFC careers, they've had these various things they've established, then they get into BKFC, whereas you're in there right from the beginning, building your record this way in, as I said, pretty much one of the toughest sports on earth. So in that way, do you think that you will then draw more guys and women as well, into BKFC to build their careers from scratch from the beginning, if you get what I mean with this in the same way you have?
Yeah, that's tough. Now, I feel like younger guys are more irrational than the people that have been in the sport, like been in combat sports forever. If they have a solid coach, I don't see a lot of young people doing this. However, Bryce Henry, for prime example, he's 22 years old as well. He's a fucking savage, dude. So it's like, I don't know. I think in the far future, kind of how we think back of all the absolute legends of the UFC. I think that's where me being so young, that's where me being so I'm homegrown. I'm all BKFC. I've had one pro MMA fight from a fucking low level promotion. So it's like I'm all BKFC. I'm the product of BKFC. So I do think that I have a chance to be like the face of this company eventually if I chose to do that. If I chose that route and chose to really push for that, just because of one, my age, two, I started my pro career in BKFC, and three, it's like I know I'm marketable. Like we just have to market me. Like I'm doing as much as I can by myself, but it's so hard to do that. As a podcast, like growth is hard. It really is. So I definitely hope they push me and I hope they market me because I have the recipe for like superstardom. I know that. So we'll see where we go.
Yeah, absolutely, 110%. I also want to touch on something here that I think will interest people. Now, other fighters will know about this, but the fans, they don't see this part. When you're going into a bare knuckle boxing fight, what is going through your mind on the build up to a fight, like maybe in that week or whatever, because people talk about things like visualization and, all these different mental techniques, even though obviously it's a physical thing, to give yourself a mental edge. Is there anything that you do like that in terms of the mindset that it takes to go to war, basically, the way that you do?
Oh man, see, I think I'm different than a lot of people. So if you ask this question to like 10 other fighters, you're gonna get similar answers with them and not a similar answer from me. Um, Here we go. I'm a wrestler. I've wrestled over 1,000 matches in my life. I am going through a tunnel apparently, the Henry E. Kinney Tunnel. So hopefully I don't lose you. But I what was the question? I tangent.
Like your mindset, basically, preparing
My
for
bad.
competition.
So
Yeah.
so as a wrestler, I've wrestled over 1,000 matches in my life. There isn't really I'm just ready to go. Like I'm wired to where as long as my weight is good, as long as all my tickets are turned in, like there's other things like life shit that I gotta make sure are okay. But in terms of the competition, I could have the shittiest fucking day leading up to the fight, and then the second they say go or knuckle up, it's all business. That's just how I've been wired since probably like sixth grade because of how much I've wrestled. Once that whistle blows, there's no nerves. Now leading up to it, this fight in particular, usually I have like bad nerves. My stomach will hurt. I'll get headaches. In terms of like because it's bare knuckle, I've never been in a fist fight in my entire life, so it's definitely different. But in terms of the nerves for competing, I had absolutely nothing this time. Like I knew I was gonna win, and like my coaches were like, "Dude, you're so calm, cool, collect. Like, what's going on? You're usually fucking pacing and shit." And I was just like, "I know I'm gonna win, man. I knew this belt was coming home with me." So.
Absolutely. And that's another cool thing to give a mention to as well for anybody who doesn't know. After winning the world title and everything, how did you celebrate, or like what happened in, say, I don't know, 24 hours or something? I don't know how much you can say about this, but in terms of like how you celebrate reaching the top of the mountain like that, what went on straight after the fight that people may not have seen and everything?
Well, we went and had after fight tacos it's Taco Treat and Halftime Sports Bar. Shout out, they're my sponsors. And that's always a great time. The pictures at the halftime were insane. Like it was picture after picture. So I didn't really celebrate too much at the halftime, unfortunately. I ended up leaving because I wanted to go get a change of pace and I wanted to go dance. And then we went to the club. We're in Great Falls, Montana, so like how club is the club. But we it was good enough music to dance to. We had a great time. They announced me. And yeah, I got absolutely plastered. It was insane. It was a great night. We didn't go to bed until it was 6:30. 6:30. So it's like, whoo, and then it didn't stop. Like then the next day I went out on the boat and then um the following week I did a victory lap tour of Montana. I went to Billings for a Tech Nine concert, and then I went to Missoula for my birthday, and there were supposed to be fights on the same day as my birthday, but they got canceled, so we just got a limo and fucking rolled out. It was great. So definitely, and then we're following through to a party here because this my only obligation here is to look pretty and like say hi to people. So we're not really done partying yet. So but I do think once I get back home, it's all back to business now. I have a tough fight coming up next, and I just want to be ready. And I'm gonna go hard from now until that fight happens. Well,
Absolutely.
Tuesday of next week. Tuesday once I get home. Let's
Yeah.
not rush. Let's not rush it.
Absolutely, man. Enjoy yourself first. It's well deserved, like I was saying earlier, 100%. Now, just to give a little peek into your training as well. I mean, with this one, we don't want to give anything away that people can use, but at the same time, the daily grind, I think, will fascinate people. I know that tonight, you're going to be out of that headspace and everything, but I just want to give a mention to this for anybody who's interested on a day-to-day basis. Like I said, nothing that people can use to their advantage, but just a little insight into how you train, what you do on a day-to-day basis? I know it's sort of an easy question for you, but I still think it's going to be fascinating to some individuals out there, you know?
Yeah. So the last 3 or 4 weeks, 3 weeks of camp are different. I don't lift, but I get some Peloton in, which is a stationary bike. I'll get a tonal in, which is a lift, and then I'll hit mitts. I don't really hit mitts for more than 30 minutes a day. Um, I want to work on just what I just need to fine tune a lot of stuff. There's no reason to learn 1,000 different things. Why not just do something 10,000 times and perfect it? I think especially in bare knuckle, perfecting your placements is the most important part. You don't want to break your hands. You want to get those soft spots so that way, one, you cut them, and two, you can knock them out. So that's kind of the extent of my training. I'll do footwork and all that, but mitts is probably no more than 30 minutes a day. And then it's just a grind. Like any chance that I get, it's always 100% effort. It's never, oh, I'm going on a light jog, or oh, I'm going on a light bike ride. No, I'm like, even in the so my workout room is a 12 by 12. It is an old dog room, but it has a heater that you can crank to like 95 to 100 degrees. And all my workouts are in fucking terrible heat, because I think heat builds mental toughness, and it's always 100%. And it's like, I feel weird if I'm not just like a crazy grind. Whenever I'm lifting and I'm not like making noises, I'm not doing it hard enough. But there's definitely a level, because most of my training is pretty average, other than like the heat. I'm going 100% the whole time. And yeah, you just got to go hard. It's a grind. As long as you're grinding, anything will work, to be honest. It's just how hard are you doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, go hard or go home. You know what they say, train hard, fight easy, all that stuff, whatever, it all comes into it. On the subject of pain barriers and everything and all that type of thing, obviously I've asked different guys this question with how much being hit with a bare fist hurts compared to like, an MMA glove or a boxing glove or whatever, because, that's part of what makes the sport brutal. And some guys say, oh, it's way more painful than like an MMA glove or something. And some guys say, it doesn't really feel that different. It's just like a burn or whatever. But just as a little bit of the the blood and the cuts and all that side of thing, I think people would love to hear being hit with a bare fist versus like an MMA glove or something. Can you compare that to people who haven't had the experience, if you get what I mean?
Yeah, it's different for sure. Once that adrenaline's going though, like, I didn't feel nothing in my fight, and I know Louis was hitting me. He hit the hard spots in my head, which is why I didn't go to sleep. My head placement was impeccable. Um, there's welts and fucking shit all over my head. It hurts more like after the fact. In the fight, it don't hurt. It really doesn't hurt because of adrenaline. But even the cuts, like, you kind of see blood start dripping and you call her a day. Like, you're like, oh fuck, I'm cut. That's it. So it's not much worse. I do think that the follow-up, like the recovery time, is definitely longer, because one, you're cut easier than with an MMA glove. And I don't know, it's like a bigger impact. I get like harder impact, so it'll leave like almost like a there's a lot of bruises, so it makes everything tender. That's kind of how I could describe it. That'd be the best way to describe it. So
Yes. Makes sense, man. Makes sense. So, all right then. So, last couple of things then. One thing I want to get your advice of is obviously you've achieved so much at a young age. Now, the best is yet to come, I believe. But also believe you're an inspiration to a lot of other young fighters and young athletes out there as well, obviously. So,
really,
you've touched on a couple of things here with, training and grinding and things. But if you had to give one or two pieces of advice to the young guns, young fighters watching this or listening to this, one or two things you'd give to them to say, look, you have to do this to succeed, what would be a little bit of advice for anybody who's sort of just starting out in a combat sports career, basically?
Okay, so if it's a combat sports career, I would instantly say you need to wrestle. Like, wrestling is the reason I'm a bare knuckle world champion, and everybody makes fun of me for saying that. It's like, you're gonna come into a real boxer one day. I'm like, okay, and I'm gonna clinch your ass because you don't know how to fucking clinch. So they're fucking silly. However, in terms of just a general, my favorite piece of advice to give is just put one foot in front of the other and fucking try. If you give effort and you be a student of the sport, there's no way you can fail. Maybe you don't reach all your goals, but there's no way that you're gonna like be a failure, you know? So because reaching your goals in this sport and in this world are tough because there's politics involved, there's all sorts of shit. But just do your best, put your front put one foot in front of the other and try. Like it's like, and that's everything in life. Just if you try, how can you fail? Like it's just, it's weird to me that all these people, I know quite a few people that fight and then complain about fighting whenever they don't put in the effort. I'm just like, you guys aren't putting in any effort, whether it's on the mat, in the room, in the competition, or even just like selling tickets, selling sponsorships. You can do a lot in this sport, even as an amateur. All you got to do is try, you know?
Yeah. Man, that's some rock solid advice right there. I love it. Bit of inspiration for, like I say, the young guns out there or anybody who wants to achieve. So, last couple of things. Obviously, you mentioned sponsors and everything like that. I mean, this is the time I like to give shout outs in the interviews. And this is obviously basically anybody who's helped you, man. It doesn't matter what form it comes in, whether it's the fans sending words of encouragement or whatever, whether it's sponsorships, people who help you financially, whether it's trainers, coaches, doesn't matter. I know it's a pretty big question, but just the people you'd like to thank and the people you'd like to give a shout out to, basically.
I gotta give a big old shout out to my girlfriend, Dakota. She's also a fighter and she helped me a lot during my fight camp. Zipstream, they're a streaming service, and they've really helped me out these past few weeks, and I appreciate them, and I look forward to doing a lot of business with them. Native Groans, my fucking boys from Montana, a weed dispensary, and it makes being in Florida rough because I haven't had any weed since being here. I'm just trying to have a good time. And then, we got the Haitoki Laser. They helped me out. High Country beef jerky in Montana. Stay Classy Meats. And all my coaches, Sean Ibsen, Dave Evans, Sears Tiernan, Chris Sewell, you helped out. Dreamwave, my new clothing sponsor. Y'all are fucking amazing. I'm wearing all your shit down here in Florida. Yeah, that's pretty much my extent of who I gotta thank for now, at least.
Absolutely amazing. And last question, obviously, a lot of people know this, but people who want to reach out on social media, best places to get in touch, best places to pick you up. Give yourself a shout out there as well, my man, please.
Yeah, it used to be Facebook. So my Facebook page is Kai Heftybag Stewart with quotes. But now my Instagram blew up. I'm at 15K, so let's blow it up. Let's get some more followers. Let's shoot for 25K now. But yeah, Kai HB 145, and that's the same on YouTube Shorts, same on TikTok, same on Twitch. Yeah, man. Like I try to keep everything all the same. That's Kai Kai HB 145.
Absolutely amazing. Well, Champ, thank you for your time, my man. It's been absolute pleasure, absolute honor. And down the road, I'm sure we'll do this again when you won a lot more defenses, belts, whatever the future holds. It's bright either way. Thank you for your time, though. I hope you enjoyed tonight. Have a blast, make the most of it, and good luck for everything that comes next. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Liam. I'll definitely come on again soon. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to the Simply Inspired YouTube channel, and there'll be more videos coming soon.